Donald Trump has just disavowed Project 2025's transition plan. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and today, Donald Trump just made a politically smart move just a couple hours ago, as Trump officially disavows Project 2025. Now, everyone knows about it at this point, but for those that don't know, Project 2025 is the new boogeyman of the left. Because it's a quote-unquote far-right agenda that was going to make Trump a dictator and all that crap. It was fear-mongering to the extreme, and Democrats in recent months have been talking more and more about it. Well, Trump decided, you know what? I'm going to publicly distance myself from Project 2025, so let us get into it. Donald Trump distanced himself Friday from Project 2025, a massive proposed overhaul of the federal government drafted by longtime allies and former officials in his administration, days after the head of the think tank responsible for the program suggested there would be a second American Revolution. That's why this is suddenly becoming a big thing. Democrats were pushing this idea for months that Project 2025 was gonna make Trump a dictator and all of that, but after what that bozo said, yeah, it was going to become more politically toxic. Now, if you actually read Project 2025, it's a very good proposal. It is. I support most of it. But here's the thing, like the AP admits, this is not Trump's official agenda. This was made by Trump allies, yes. But you read in between the lines. This was never proposed by Trump. Agenda 47 is Trump's agenda, not Project 2025. And that's what Democrats just don't talk about. They don't mention the fact that this isn't the same thing. Trump has his own agenda, which, yeah, there are some similarities, but they're not the same thing. I know nothing about Project 2025. Trump posted on his social media website. I have no idea who is behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them. And that's what Trump said. Very simple. I don't know anything about Project 2025. And he probably doesn't. I would not be surprised one bit that he just heard about this like the past week. Like, wait, what's Project 2025? Oh, that by the Heritage Foundation? Okay, that's what they want me to do. But that's not what Trump's gonna do for sure. Which I just don't get why Democrats really believe that Trump was gonna become a dictator and that was what Project 2025 is gonna do. It's gonna cause a monarchy to form and all of that. No, seriously, that's what Democrats were saying. They were saying that this was gonna cause a dictatorship to form around Trump. Huh? You're telling me that this proposal, which Trump doesn't even support, is gonna be proposed by Trump to make himself a dictator? That's the argument Democrats use. I'm not even kidding. Look up Project 2025 on Twitter, and that's all you see. It's a 5D chess move by Trump to become a dictator and all of that. They really believe it. And there are some very iffy things within the project that I can understand why Trump is saying, you know, I know nothing about it. I disagree with some of it. I don't know. Project 2025 outlines dramatic expansion of presidential power and a plan to fire as many as 50,000 government employees to replace them with Trump loyalists. President Joe Biden's re-election campaign has worked to draw more attention to the agenda, particularly as Biden tries to keep fellow Democrats on board after his disastrous debate. And that's the reason that they're talking more about it. Because they're trying to cover for Biden's horrific debate performance. They think if we just talk about Project 2025 1,000 times over, we are going to make people forget about the debate. We're going to make people think Trump's a dictator and all of that. But when you read into what the plan actually is, yeah, there's some very iffy parts. Again, you can look it up, but stuff like firing a bunch of government employees, good. There's a bunch of people in the government that should be fired. I agree, and replace it with people that have a brain. And they say Trump loyalist. Okay, how is being loyal to the president bad? Seriously, how is that a bad thing? Because what happened in the first term of Trump is he had a bunch of people in the government working against him. You have people admitting, yeah, we purposely hid stuff from Trump to stop him or something. That's what they admit. There's a bunch of things the deep state did in his first term that hurt him. So you're telling me that it's a bad thing to replace these people with loyalists? Again, if they suck at their job, that's one thing, but if they're good and loyal, what's the problem? The people we got right now, no one knows who they're loyal to. You have no clue who they actually care about, who they work for. You don't know. And quite frankly, the vast majority of them suck. Trump has outlined his own plan to remake the government if he wins a second term. Oh, so now they admit, yeah, Project 2025 is a separate ordeal. Trump actually has his own plans. Really? You finally admit that. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that the media went on for months talking about Project 2025 is a Trump plan to take over the government. Now they're admitting, actually, you know what? We were wrong, Trump has his own plans, which I'm not denying. There are some similarities here, like fire a bunch of government employees. Okay, that's similar, fine. But to say it's the same thing is ludicrous. Again, there's a lot of stuff in Project 2025 that's nowhere to be seen in Agenda 47. That's a fact, all right? And I cannot believe that they finally admit that. You're like, oh yeah, they're completely separate ordeals, including staging the largest deportation operation in U.S. history and opposing tariffs on potentially old imports. And what's the problem here? I'm waiting. What's the problem with deporting illegals? Is there anything wrong with that? There's nothing wrong. This idea that it's somehow racist and it's immoral. No. These people broke our laws to enter illegally. That's a fact. So what's the problem if we get rid of them, if we deport them? What's the problem here? There's no issue here. I don't see the problem with deporting illegals. Just common sense. And we're not talking about, 50,000 people. And not even the 13 million illegals. That's the number they keep mentioning. That number has been the same for 15 years. It's closer to 20 to 30 million illegals. That's 20 to 30 million people that we have no clue about. We know nothing about them. Who knows? So that's a threat to the United States. 20 to 30 million illegal immigrants. That's not a small amount. What is that, 10% of the population? That's a disaster waiting to happen. And as for the second part, good. I mean, for the entirety of America's history before this World War I, we relied on tariffs. That's a fact. We funded our entire government with tariffs. So what's the problem now? Oh, we cannot afford it. Okay. Then cut back on some of the fat. There are not tens of billions, hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars being wasted. We should be able to fund the government without having to spend $5 trillion a year. We have to tax people $4 trillion a year. That's insane. And frankly, we've never done that before, but we do this every single year. We spend trillions of dollars and we take in trillions of dollars. There's no reason to keep that going. We should cut spending and cut taxes. I agree with that. But oddly enough, when Trump proposed cutting taxes, Republicans said no, that we can't do that. Wait a minute. I thought the whole point was you support lower taxes. But when Trump proposes an idea to cut taxes and cut spending, now it's a problem? Again, I'm not saying that we need a 500% tariff on everything. I don't think even Trump is saying that. But we should rely more on tariffs than the income tax. And the cope is, well, that's going to increase prices. Maybe a little bit. Maybe. But at some point, it's like, okay, would you rather have slightly higher, prices for everything? Or would you want higher taxes on your income? I think that's kind of common sense, really. I think it evens out, and I don't think you're going to see that big of a price increase. These people make it sound like it's going to go up by 600%. No. We've had tariffs for the entirety of American history, and not once has there been a 500% increase in prices for something that has tariffs on it. Never. But people fear-monger and think that's what's going to happen. Which, oddly enough, it's like, wait, you sane people supported tariffs 20 years ago, but now you oppose it because Trump supports it. You think I'm kidding? I guarantee you 20 years ago, if, let's say, Bill Clinton or Obama proposed the same thing, everyone would be on board. You know, like, yeah, we'll give her the income tax in favor of tariffs, or reduce the income tax dramatically and increase tariffs. Everyone would support it except some libertarians and stuff. But either way, now that Trump supports it, oh, it's such a big problem. But even then, it's like, what's undemocratic about what they're proposing? They're making it sound like, you know, Trump's agenda is dictatorial. Um, Deportations and tariffs are somehow being a dictator? Really? We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be, Roberts said. And for those that don't know, Kevin Roberts is the president of the Heritage Foundation, the organization pushing Project 2025. And when he said this is when people started to realize, okay, we cannot be affiliated with Project 2025 at all. Because you cannot just say, we need a second American Revolution. We need to be bloodless with it. Which, okay, fine. You mentioned that part, but why even talk about this? Why? When you say stuff like this, Trump is going to look at that and say to himself, no. I don't want to be affiliated with a project like this, because you cannot have someone saying this. And you might be saying he might be right, he might be wrong, whatever. The point is, this is stupid. You shouldn't even be saying this. In the year 2024, to say crap like this is just, in my opinion, it's wrong. It's just stupid. Politically, it's dumb. I don't get why Robert said this. I really don't. And that's the reason Trump said his statement, that he's not affiliated with this project at all. He doesn't know about it because of this. Now, does that mean he's not going to do anything? No. There's some people like Pedro Gonzalez saying, oh, this is proof that Trump is part of the establishment, that he's not going to do anything. Bullshit. Project 2025 was never a part of his campaign. Like I said, Agenda 47 was. That's his campaign. That's his agenda, not Project 2025. And when you look at both of them, they're virtually the same. Just Project 2025, there are some other stuff that you could argue would hurt Trump. I think there's some abortion stuff in it. So that's why Trump's avoiding it. That's why he's saying, I know nothing about it. I disagree with a lot of it. I don't know. Now, will this change anything? I don't think so. I really don't get why people are making such a big deal about, oh my goodness, Trump backstabbed the base. No, he didn't. All he said was, I disagree with Project 2025. I don't know about it. Whoop-de-doo. I do think, however, this kills any attacks by Democrats, because Trump made clear that this is not part of his campaign. Like, I don't know about it. I don't support it. All of that. This kills their attacks on him. They're going to still attack him for it, but the credibility of the attacks are just dead. Because Trump openly said, I know nothing about this. This is not my proposals. I may know some of the people involved, but I personally do not support some of the project. Now we just gotta see what happens. Hopefully people realize that it's a nothing burger, but there's a lot of people panicking for no reason, and I don't get why. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.